What's up guys, ShelbyKay here and welcome back to my channel. I'm sorry if I sound a little congested. I am getting over a little bit of a cold, so that's why I sound like that. But in today's video, I decided since I have so many new subscribers on my channel, and if you are a new subscriber, I just want to start off by saying hello, welcome to our channel, thank you for joining our family. But as I was saying, because we have so many new subscribers on this channel, I decided that today I would just sit down with you guys, kind of do a get ready with me, and kind of tell you guys a little bit about myself so you guys can get to know me a little bit better. So today I am doing 25 facts about me in kind of a get ready with me setting. So I hope you guys enjoy. Archer wants to be in the video. Hi Archer. Buddy, you got it. So I just want to start by saying, for those of you who don't know me, hello, my name is ShelbyKay. I am 27 years old and this is my YouTube channel and it's all about lifestyle, living your best life and embracing your inner badass is kind of the direction I'm taking this channel. So thank you for clicking on this video. Thank you for joining this family. So my first kind of fact about myself is that I am the oldest of 3 girls. I do have 2 younger sisters. They are twins, but you would never know looking at them. Me and my sisters have always been really close, and my parents kind of legally, I don't want to say adopted, but they are legal guardians of my 2 cousins as well, so I kind of count them as sisters in a sense because we all grew up together, we all lived in the same house, that kind of thing. So my second fact is that I have a bachelor's of pre-veterinary science. I was going to go to vet school, that was my original intent. Graduation came around, decided I didn't really want to do that, and then I was going to be a vet tech. I burnt out on that really hard. I have all kinds of videos about my journey and the things that I've gone through on my channel because this channel was originally going to be a vet tech channel. Some of you may already know this if you've kind of been around since the beginning, but I decided that I did not enjoy vet med as much anymore, and just mentally it was something I couldn't do anymore. I'm sorry, there are dogs everywhere right now. Yeah, decided it was just something I couldn't do anymore mentally, and so I moved on from that. But I do have a degree in pre-veterinary science from a university. If you guys couldn't tell, I do have 3 dogs. I have 2 German Shepherds named Archer and Harley, who are wrestling right here if you guys can hear them. And then I have a pit bull mastiff named Maverick. He's the one that just jumped up behind me and then went away. Harley is almost a year old. She's about 11 months. Archer is a year and a half. Maverick, when we adopted him, they told us he was about 3. I think he's closer to 5 or 6. And then we do have a 4th dog in our house now because my boyfriend's brother lives with us and he has a boxer Rottweiler pit bull mix named Goose. So we have a lot of chaos going on in our house with all of our dogs. And then I also have a kitty cat named Flynn Ryder. Yes, after Tangled. So we have quite a bit of animals, quite a lot of chaos, but we love it. There's dog hair everywhere. Okay, moving on. I actually have been doing YouTube for about 15 years now. I started back in 6th grade in about 2005. I actually started out doing AMVs. And if you guys don't know what those are, they're animated music videos or anime music videos. Essentially, if you guys don't know, I'm a giant nerd. I have been a huge anime nerd since elementary school, and just animation and TV and that kind of pop culture kind of stuff. So I used to take like anime clips and put them to music. I also used to do movie trailers where I'd put like clips to movie trailers, and that's what I did for a really, really long time. I do have a second channel, which I will link down below if you guys are at all interested in checking out. I don't really upload to it anymore because I don't do a lot of AMV stuff anymore, unless I'm going to a convention because they do AMV contests. But it has over 100 videos, AMV type videos on there. And that actually is the second channel. My first channel did end up getting shut down because of copyright, because obviously you're using music and clips and stuff. But so that is my second channel, so you can't see like the original videos I posted, but if you guys want to check those out, those will be linked down below. But I have been doing YouTube since 2005. I started this channel back in I think 2016, I think it was, and it's gone through a lot of changes. I originally started out because I wanted to do like cosplay content because I haven't cosplayed in a long time, but I am very interested in cosplay and I have been doing that for a long time. And then it started drifting more towards the tech stuff, and now it's more towards like lifestyle and that kind of stuff, and kind of whatever I want it to be. So yeah, so I've been doing YouTube for about 15 years, but I've only really been taking it seriously for the last 2 years, and then this year is really the first year that I was like, okay, I really got to upload like regularly, and then I'm making a point to actually stick to what I wanted to do. So yeah, so it's been a long time coming. I absolutely love YouTube. I love creating videos, and yeah, so we'll leave it at that. My next kind of weird fact, I guess, is that I am absolutely obsessed with tropical fruit or tropical flavors of any kind. I love mango, I love pineapple, I love anything like that. If it has a tropical flavor, I'm going to love it, especially when it comes to candy or beverages or desserts or anything like that. I don't know what it is. I just love tropical flavors. I absolutely love it. So this next one is actually kind of, you guys are gonna think it's weird and that I'm crazy, but I will explain. And that it is that I am actually allergic to the cold, and I know that sounds crazy and like that's not a real thing, but for some reason I call it being allergic to the cold because it's like allergic symptoms, but essentially I think it's just that my skin is very, very sensitive to cold air or cold climate, or because when I get really cold my skin gets really, really irritated. It gets really red. I do end up getting hives, my fingers and toes swell up, and I get really, really itchy. So I get like weird allergy symptoms when I get too cold. It seems to be getting less and less as I get older, but it still does happen. So yeah, so I like, it sounds really crazy, but my skin is just very sensitive to the cold, and I say that I'm allergic. So my next fact is that I do not have a gallbladder. I actually had to have it taken out in 2009 because it stopped working. They did a test on my gallbladder to figure out, because I was having really bad abdominal pain, so they ran a bunch of tests. They thought maybe at first I had gallstones, but that came back negative. So then they were looking at it, and it turns out that my gallbladder had 2% functionality, so it wasn't working whatsoever. So they took it out. So now I have no gallbladder. Number 8 is just kind of a random fact about me, and that is that Sons of Anarchy is my absolute favorite show on the face of the planet. I don't know why, because it's not that I'm really into like the gang world or anything, but I just absolutely love that show. A lot of it may have to do with the fact that I am in love with Charlie Hunnam. He is my absolute favorite actor besides David Tennant, but I absolutely love that show. I'm actually currently on my like 8th or 9th rewatch of it. My next fact is that as a child, I was absolutely terrified of ghosts or anything paranormal. I mean, it was to the point that my mom used to watch like those ghost hunter shows and stuff, and I couldn't even look at the screen when she was watching those shows because I would have nightmares and I would not be able to sleep. Nowadays, I absolutely love paranormal and supernatural and all that kind of stuff. I just love it. And my next fact, you guys may already know if you've been on my channel for a while, if you know anything about me at all, but if you don't, I am absolutely 100% obsessed with Harley Quinn, and I have been for a while. I definitely love classic Harley Quinn, like from the Batman animated series. That's my favorite, like, incarnation, I guess, or version of Harley Quinn is classic, like jester costume Harley. I'm not a huge fan of the new 52 designs, like the newer Harley designs with the blue and the red instead of the red and the black. I like the story that she's kind of breaking away from Joker, but I'm a diehard fan of Harley Joker kind of lore. Not that I necessarily, I don't know, it's weird. I have a weird, this is another random fact that I guess I'll just throw in, that I have a weird fascination with like dysfunctional couples when it comes to fiction, and couples that I know, I don't know, it's hard to explain, and I don't want to make it sound like I'm a horrible person, but like I have a weird fascination with like really dysfunctional, really like not good couples together, or couples that have like a love-hate relationship, or that are just not, that wouldn't be healthy like in everyday life. Examples are like Harley and Joker, Jax and Tara from Sons of Anarchy are another one. Couples that like if they were real life, you would be like, oh my god, like this is so terrible, this is so abusive, like get out of this relationship. But for some reason in fiction I absolutely love that kind of stuff. So I'm a diehard Harley and Joker fan. So I don't know. I have mixed feelings about the new Harley stuff. Like, I love that she's evolving as a character, but I don't like the new designs, although I think Margot Robbie in Suicide Squad did an excellent job. Even though Suicide Squad was a very subpar movie, I think she did an excellent job portraying Harley. But yeah, so I'm obsessed with Harley, and kind of as a secondary thing in there to add to the 25, I have a weird obsession with dysfunctional couples. So my next fact is that I was raised like hardcore Catholic. I went to church every Sunday. I used to be really involved in youth group and do all kinds of youth group activities every week. I actually became a part of the leadership for my youth group. I was very involved in my church, just my religion. It was like my biggest part of my life, and now not so much. I actually have some, I'm not going to get into them, but I do have some opinions on organized religion, and I definitely would say that I am a more spiritual person, and I'm more of a person who believes be a good person for the sake of being a good person, not because a book tells you to, kind of thing. And I am not bashing on anyone who may be religious or have organized religion, but that is just how I feel personally for myself. And I'm definitely more on the spiritual aspect. On that same note, I actually did go to private Catholic middle school and high school. Okay, so the next one is, I don't want to get too much into detail. If you guys want a more in-depth video about my experience and the things I learned and that kind of thing, I definitely can do that, so let me know down below, but I don't want to get too much into it right now. But I was in a very emotionally abusive and manipulative relationship for almost 6 years. It was one of the hardest periods of my life. I was very blind to what was going on. I think that has to attribute to a lot of the anxiety and depression that I experience now. So I'm just gonna kind of just leave it at that. As I said, if you guys want a more in-depth video, I definitely can do that for you guys, but that's where I'm gonna leave it for right now. So my next random fact is that I am actually bisexual. I am attracted to both men and women. I definitely have a little bit more of a preference for men, but I think a lot of that is just because I've never been with a woman in any shape or form. I've never dated a woman. I've never done anything with a woman beyond kissing them. That being said, my next kind of fact is that I'm a very sex positive person, and I feel like sex should not be such a taboo topic. I think that it should be something that we can talk about openly if we wish, and not have to fear like judgment or anything like that. My next random fact, and you guys might be able to tell because my hair has not been done in a really long time, is that I am naturally blonde. I have not been blonde in a very long time. I just don't feel like myself when I am blonde. I feel most of myself either with really dark hair or bright red hair. Bright red hair more so. I think bright red is my color. Unfortunately, money became an issue and I couldn't afford to keep up with it, so I went dark brown. But now that I'm kind of getting my finances back in check, I'm hoping to go back to red very, very soon. My next random fact is that I actually used to draw comic books or manga. If you guys don't know what manga is, essentially it's Japanese comic book. As I said, I'm a really big nerd. I've been into like anime and stuff like that since a really long time, and I used to draw comic books. I actually still have some of them that I made. For you Harry Potter fans out there, I am a Slytherin. I identify with Slytherin very, very much so. What's your guys' Hogwarts house if you guys are Harry Potter fans? Let me know down in the comments below. Back on the kind of bisexual topic, I didn't realize this 2 years later that this is what that was, but my first kind of girl crushes were actually from my favorite TV show growing up, Winx Club. If any of you guys know what that show is. I had the biggest girl crushes on Bloom, Flora, and Icy. I thought they were the most beautiful girls in the world. I was so like in love with them. Again, I didn't realize that's what it was at the time, but looking back, I was like, yeah, I totally had girl crushes on them. Another random fact, I'm totally obsessed with the game Sims. I could I literally lose track of time on that game. I could play that game all day and not realize that the day has passed because I just love that game so much. My next random fact is that I am allergic to crustaceans. I thought I was allergic to all shellfish, but I can eat like clams and mussels. So I've learned that it's actually crustaceans. My next random fact is kind of the explanation of how I came up with my name. A lot of people think Kay is my middle name, and it's not. Actually, it's kind of a funny story. So obviously, as I've been saying, like I was a total nerd in high school, or I still am, but you know, in high school I was still a total nerd. And me and my friends were very into Japanese culture. And so we decided it was cool to kind of give each other nicknames with the Japanese honorifics. And if you guys don't know what honorifics are, essentially it's a word they attach to the end of a name in Japan to kind of signify their, I don't want to say their rank, but kind of their place like in like relative to you. So it's kind of like we in America would use like miss or ma'am or Mrs. like to, you know, kind of show politeness and show like, you know what I mean, kind of show that they're, I don't want to say above you, but you know, to kind of show respect for somebody. So honorifics kind of do the same thing in Japanese. So we all kind of gave each other nicknames, and mine was Shelby-kun. Eventually my friends started shortening that to ShelbyKay, like with the letter K. And so when I was trying to come up with a name, I was actually trying to create like a cosplay persona, because as I said, my channel originally started out to be like cosplay stuff. And so I was trying to come up with a cosplay persona, and I was like, and I went through a lot of things. I couldn't think of a name, and then I remembered ShelbyKay, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. So originally my cosplay persona was going to be ShelbyKay, which is the letter K, cosplay. But then I was like, no, let's make it K-A-Y, just because that seems a little more cool to me. And so that's kind of how ShelbyKay was born. It was originally ShelbyKay Cosplay, which was the original name of this channel, and then I dropped the cosplay part when I decided it wasn't going to be cosplay stuff so much. Yeah, so that's how ShelbyKay was born. My next random fact is that ever since I was a kid, I have always loved, I don't really know how to word it, but like I've always loved using music to kind of like describe a mood or describe something that like a character is going through. Whether it be like a show that I watch or something that I'm writing or something that I'm coming up with. I actually have a whole playlist. If you guys don't know, I'm writing a book. Well, I say I'm writing a book, but I am going to be writing a book. I've been working on it for several years. I just can't get myself to actually sit down and like work on it. But I have a whole playlist on my Spotify. I'm dedicated to songs that like remind me of different scenes in the book or different characters in the book. And I used to do this, as I said, like even with like the comic books I used to write, I would come up with like songs that match each character. I think it just growing up with Disney movies, and like, you know, they have musical numbers that describe, you know, what they're feeling or what they're going through. I just kind of got it ingrained in my head that music can really convey a feeling. Eyelashes are on. I hate putting on eyelashes. It's like one of the worst things in the world for me. In high school, I had a friend. Well, she's still one of my friends, but we don't really talk as much anymore. But I had a friend, and she had a brother, and she was a year younger than me, so she was in the grade below me, and her brother was in my grade. And her brother was always kind of, he's a really nice guy, and I don't want to talk bad about him because I do love him. He's a really nice guy. But he's just kind of socially awkward. And one day, we were kind of talking at lunch, and we were sitting at lunch together, and we were just kind of talking. So we were just kind of talking, and the bell rang, and this was my, I want to say sophomore year. I wasn't even 16 yet, so it had to have been like right at the beginning of my sophomore year. And we were just kind of talking, you know, just chatting at lunch. And at the end of lunch, he says, oh, do you want me to be your boyfriend? And I pretty much told him, no, I'm sorry, like I'm not allowed to date, which I wasn't at the time. My dad didn't allow me to date till I was 16. I wasn't 16 yet. And I kind of used that as an excuse because I wasn't interested in him that way. Or he said, oh, we don't really have to date. We can just be boyfriend and girlfriend, which to me, I was like, that's what dating is your boyfriend and girlfriend. But, you know, I kind of just left it at that. And so a couple weeks go by. I don't know if any of you guys, you might not have been if you guys aren't giant nerds like I am, but it still exists, but it's kind of dead. There used to be a website called fanfiction.com where you could post fan fiction stories of different, you know, shows, movies, whatever. And I was on that all the time because I used to write lots of fan fiction. And I added him on fan fiction, and I had my name in my profile. And I got a message from him, and he said, hey, I just want to let you know, like, you probably shouldn't have your name posted on the internet because there's lots of weirdos. And I was like, oh, you know, it's just my first name, like, I don't give any personal information, it's okay. And he said, yeah, I know, but as your boyfriend, I just want to protect you. I was like, hey, I don't know if you got the wrong idea, but we're not boyfriend and girlfriend. I said I can't date. And he got really confused, and it got kind of awkward, and I didn't hear from him again. And things were very awkward at school for a while. Eventually, we just kind of got over it. But yeah, so I had a boyfriend I didn't know about for about 2 weeks. So that was fun. Alright guys, I hope you guys enjoyed kind of getting to know me and getting ready with me this morning. Let me know down in the comments below some random facts about you guys, because I really want to get to know you guys and kind of engage with you a little bit more. I appreciate you guys so much for subscribing to this channel, whether you've been here since the beginning or if you're brand new to my channel. I can't wait to grow this community and really connect with you guys and just share all of our badass goodness. If you guys have not already subscribed, please be sure to hit that subscribe button, as well as the bell notification so you're notified whenever I upload. Also be sure to check out my Instagram. You guys will be seeing this look soon on my Instagram because, as I said, I am doing a little mini photo shoot today. As always, I thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye guys!